back to my channel. We do not promote hate, so do not send hate to anybody. Let's jump right in.
And to all the people who were like, Shannon went away because she's scared of being sued. Emily couldn't have sued me. She couldn't have. I didn't do anything. Even if she tried, I said I would address Tipster, so this...
I didn't do anything, peasants. Be gone.
Is for him. Tipster said that if I was able to prove that I didn't do what I'm being accused of, that he would apologize to me. And to that, I say, fuck you. You disgusting person. You maliciously attacked my husband because you...
Whoa. No, he did not. Not from what I've seen. Now, I have watched all of this that I could find. Since this has started, since Locale called her out, I've watched this. And I have yet to see Tipster attack anybody. If anything, I kind of felt like Tipster was still giving her a chance to come forward. Like, hey friend, I'm here if you want to address this stuff. And I was even kind of upset, like, come on, Big Tip. Don't, but that's a friend. That's what a friend does. And he was like the only one out of everybody that was like, hey. Now, I don't blame the others for backing away. Geez, if she had said that, allegedly, had said that about me on Locale, I'd be upset. Those were some really nasty slurs, really nasty comments. I wouldn't want that said about me. So I get why a lot of people, but they didn't back off immediately. Most of her friends were trying to see the truth. Even I was kind of like, why isn't anybody talking about this? But I get it now. Everybody was trying to just hold off and make sure this was real and make sure the Locale thing was real. And Locale exposed her. And I believe that's the only reason she will not address Locale or the situation is because she knows that Locale has proof. But don't come on here saying and trying to sway people's opinions to Tipster attacked my husband. I did not see that. And don't call me a tip stan because y'all know I'm not a big Tipster stan. I like some of his content. Sometimes I don't agree with him. I'm not a stan. But I will say that's messed up, Shannon. That's messed up. I have not seen him attack your husband, and I've looked. Ever since the first time I heard that, I've looked. Trust me, I've tried to find it. And I have yet to find anywhere where Tip attacked Anthony, so...
Yourself couldn't scroll down far enough on Emily's Instagram and find the multiple posts that debunk her story that are still live.
Maybe Tipster didn't have enough time to go back 15 years into Emily's grade school history. Not all of us have been watching Emily and screenshotting everything from the past 15 years. Not all of us have access to the way, way back machine. Like, we haven't been stalking Emily for the last 10 years. So how would we have all this? And there's no evidence in that Instagram post you're talking about. Everything I've seen is hearsay. But again, maybe Tipster doesn't have 6 months to stalk Emily and find all this information like other people did. I'm not gonna call names.
You're a journalist, but you just couldn't do that.
He's never, ever said he was a journalist. The man has, come on now, Creepshow Art. You're playing games now. You're just being like full of vinegar and pee-pee because you know this man has never proclaimed to be a journalist. And on the screen, she talks about Keem being better. Girl.
And your content gets fewer and fewer views than everyone else in the YouTube commentary community, and you keep being beat out by everyone else. And that's because it's terrible, lazy, and reductive.
You hear the way she said reductive? That is so much hate. Dude, you got way too much anger in your heart, girl. You need to buy yourself a hug and chill. First off, everything that I've seen online with Tipster, he's actually gaining supporters because when all of this first started, Tipster was like one of the main ones that was trying to give her room to address this stuff. He was like, hey friend, if you want to talk about this or if you want to tell me something, I'm here. And of course she didn't. And when everybody else started pulling away, and I don't blame those people for pulling away. If she had said those things about me, allegedly, on Locale, I would have pulled away too. I don't blame Edwin for being upset. I don't even like Edwin like that no more. I used to, like his content. I don't no more. But still, that was wrong. What she did and what she allegedly said about Edwin on Locale is absolutely messed up. What she allegedly said about everybody on Locale is messed up. To pretend to be somebody else and somebody else arguing over you, arguing over different, is messed up. It's ridiculous. But you're trying to change the narrative, the public's eye view here on Tipster, and that's not cool either. You cannot blame Tipster, Emily, and everybody else for your problems. That's narcissistic tendencies. You sound like a narcissist. It's everybody else's fault but my own. I'm not going to take accountability. Oh no, it's everybody else's fault but mine. You have preached this for years. That's narcissistic behavior. But here you are, sounding like the biggest hypocrite that ever was on YouTube. I can't imagine how Tipster feels. He's never, ever proclaimed to be some kind of journalist. Never. His videos don't even seem like journalist videos. It's just him giving his opinion on important topics, in a dramatic situation, just like I do. Just like I'm doing right now. Talking to y'all, my own opinion about this. That's the same thing he does. But I'm not calling myself a journalist, and he's not calling himself a journalist, so I don't know where she got that.
You name your channel Secondhand News because you can't be fucked to actually research anything before you open your ugly mouth. You are
Girl, why are you so full of hate and calling him all these ugly names? I don't think I've seen Tipster be like that towards her, and if he has, I haven't seen it. So correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, but I haven't seen it. Why are you calling him all these names, these ugly, awful insults? Why do that? That's not helping your case at all. Just like what you're talking about Emily isn't helping your case at all. The way you started your video. If you're seeing this video, it's because this happened in court or that happened with our lawyers, and none of that happened. Did you think we really couldn't ask Emily, hey, did y'all go to court? No. Did y'all have a settlement? No. Why did you leave that in the video? You should have edited that part out. Anyways, I'm getting on a whole different subject. I don't know why you're treating Tipster this way. It makes me feel like you never valued him as a friend. Maybe you were jealous the whole time. These are just my opinions. These are not facts. That's how I feel. Maybe you never liked Tipster. Maybe this is how you've always viewed Tipster. And that's why it's so easy for you to let it roll off the tongue. Because Shannon, I can promise you one thing. When this first started with Locale, Tipster did not fall into it. He didn't. He did not believe it. When the whole Emily thing came out, he did not fall for it. He didn't. He wouldn't even, he was like, no, I'm going to wait. I'm going to wait. I watched his live streams. I was in there. And I heard him every time somebody brought, even when he made the video, I seen it. He did not jump into attacking you. He was actually like, you know what? I'm just going to wait. Because I don't know that this is right or that's facts. I don't know. And that's my friend. And the way you're talking about him here makes me feel like you never seen him as a friend. Never. You sure are rolling these insults off mighty fast.
Someone else's video and you say what they said worse than they said it. You are a reporter. You're not a journalist. You're a joke. Just know that you are a terrible person. And you can take that forgiveness and just, you're not a journalist. You're a joke.
You're not a journalist. You're a joke. Man, that cuts deep, Shannon. I feel bad for Tipster. You know what? Let me just say something now. That I hurt for Tipster at this point, because how can you just so easily hate on him because he wanted to know the truth? Because he just didn't outright believe you. He didn't believe Emily either at first. He didn't believe anybody. He said that on his video, yesterday or day before, he said that. I didn't believe anyone at first. I'm waiting on the facts. So why are you hating on him so easily and so harsh? Why are you calling him a joke and secondhand news? The man's never claimed to be a news channel. He does exactly what I'm doing. He sits down in a chair, hits record, and he talks about things Girl, what is I don't think you ever cared about Tipster as a friend. And you know what? That's sad. because he's always seemed to care about you. But all right, whatever. But these insults, and then on the screen she says, Keem is at least entertaining. You just sit there and blandly recite things that you read, saw somewhere else. You barely even give your opinion half the time. That's not true. Because I watch his content, and he does give his opinion. I don't think that's fair, Shannon. And this is coming from a non-fan. I don't think that's fair of you to say about Tipster, but you can have your opinion just like I can. Is what it is. Now, let's go back into the video where all of these crazy little details just don't matter. You know, like 10 minutes of bathtub reviews. That was overkill, Shannon. There was no reason for you to put 10 entire minutes of other people's bathtub reviews just to make Emily look bad. And I know that's what it was. All I can say is Anthony must be like the master manipulator, or he must be blessed in the bedroom. Because I don't know why Creepshow Art felt the need to make an Emily artful iceberg. This is like one of the deepest icebergs I have ever watched in my life. And I thought like Sacro and Nexpo and Nightmind, I thought they like went and did some deep dives, but this is like the deepest of dives. You feel me? But listen to this little jab that I caught in the video.
Bit over a month. This Twitter only accrued 10 followers and her posts had mostly no likes. Emily also should
hear that? Only had 10 followers and mostly no likes. That was another little jab there by old Shannon, you know. Now there's a few moments in this video where Creepshow Art reads out reviews made by other people about Emily. There was the naked bathtub reviews, and then there was like the hair salon views. What's interesting to me about these reviews is Shannon shows the positive and then she'll show the negative. But I don't believe that was to prove her point. I think that was just to take another jab at Emily. And this one caught my attention. This one, I don't know if it actually happened. I want to ask Emily if this actually happened or not. But I think somebody possibly made this up. But just listen.
That there is in fact one negative review about Emily, although the person doesn't name her. This review is not about her poor makeup work or her being unhygienic like she states, and the viewer has left more than one review on their account, leading me to believe that this is a real review and not just a troll. Here's the review in question. I am not a regular customer at this store, so I am not sure what kind of girls they are supposed to be hiring here. Within the store, the customer service was great. I came in on Friday and was helped by all 3 girls, and each one was more knowledgeable than the next. Super friendly, great selection, and each lady knew what she was talking about. I had continued to walk around downtown San Mateo after shopping there. When I came back around near the Peninsula Beauty to get my car, I ran into one of the girls that helped me. I could only assume she was on her lunch because she didn't have their little uniform on, and she was drawing in a book with her headphones on. I had noticed immediately she drew something inappropriate in her book. When I confronted her and told her that that image wasn't appropriate for a young lady to be drawing, she looked back up at me and in a very snotty voice said, "I think it's completely appropriate. I just think America is overly sensitive." She was not only insulting me, but our nation as a whole. She had long black hair, tattoos, glasses, and looked of either Eastern European or possibly Asian descent. I did not get her name in the store, but I advise you not to interact. This will not deter me from shopping there, as my experience in the store was more than 5 stars. I just want to express my serious concern with the classless people they hire. No proof online exists that she...
There's something about that review that screams Creepshow Art to me. Now that very well could be someone else. I'm not saying it's Creepshow Art. But I want to ask Emily, you know, did that encounter happen? Were you drawing in a book and somebody walked by and they were like, oh, you shouldn't be drawing in your own book, whatever you want to draw, you know. Oh, they're just, you know, talking about me and my country. Did that actually happen? Or was this another attack, allegedly, by Creepshow Art? Because that review just doesn't sound like something somebody's just walking by and la 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 la, and you're sitting here at a table around nobody else, drawing in your book, and this person takes it upon themselves to peek over into your notebook. Oh, that's inappropriate. And then you say, well, I think America's insensitive. How is that against the country? A lot of us are very insensitive. What do you mean? Very sensitive, whatever. But still, So I'm just trying to play this back in my head, okay? Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. Hold up. So I'm sitting here, and I'm sorry to drag this out, but I'm just trying to grasp onto this. I'm drawing in my book by myself, and someone walks by and peeks over and looks down. You're drawing something inappropriate. And this is my personal book, and they're looking in my personal book. You're drawing something inappropriate. Well, America is sensitive. First off, how am I bashing the country by saying that, or you? This is my personal property. But second, that just don't sound right to me. I'm not saying it's never happened in the history of humans. I'm just saying that sounds like something that somebody would do who has some hard feelings towards Emily, who does not like Emily, who knew she worked there at that time, who would leave that fake review. Because I'm going to tell you, when I'm walking by people and someone's just on their break and they're on their phone, I don't peek over to look at their phone. I don't want to see what's on their phone. If they're writing in a notebook, I don't peek over to see what they're looking at. I don't know that that's a real review. And I don't know that it wasn't planted there 6 years ago to get Emily fired. Now, I'm not saying that I believe everything on either side, but this does sway me towards Emily, of where she says they targeted me leaving bad reviews. Shannon says, well, there was no bad, there's the bad review. That's what she's talking about. This whole entire time, this is exactly what Emily's talking about. People leaving purposely bad reviews to target her and get her fired. That's exactly what that is. Question is, who did it? Now, Creepshow Art says that person has other reviews. I'm going to research this. I'm going to see if I can find what other reviews this person has left. I don't know. I don't have the way back machine, and I don't have time like Creepshow Art does to investigate. I work for a living. I don't have that kind of time. So, but I'm just curious, have y'all thought about that? Who left that review? And was Emily targeted? Because that sounds to me like she was targeted in that moment. Like, that sounds like a made-up fake review to me. I've worked in the public for a long time, and even I draw on my breaks. I'm not an artist by no means, but I play on my phone, whatever. And people that don't like you will leave a stupid bad review for no reason, not for no reason, but they will leave a bad review to try to get you fired. Like an ex's girlfriend, baby daddy drama, baby mama drama. You know what I'm saying. That just don't... I don't know. Something don't make sense about that. I think Emily's right about that. And I think, in my opinion, that moment was somebody targeting Emily to get her fired, just like she said. Now, I don't like this whole thing that Creepshow, oh my gosh. I did not mean to say that, but dang, that was a good name. Creepshow. Stop. Y'all know I'm not a professional. Anyways, I don't like what Creepshow Art does here when it comes to, well, Anthony's grandpa said that she wasn't using when she did here, but somebody else says that later on she was using. That's not your business. I said this in the last video. That's her business. And if Anthony wants to talk about Emily, he needs to come on the video with you. If you're going to talk about Emily and Anthony's relationship, Anthony needs to drag his butt into the video and tell his side. Now, tell it on his own channel, tell it on your channel. It would be better to tell it on your channel because you have a wider audience than he does. But I don't think it's right for you to talk about her SA, her attacks, her addiction, her R word, her bipolar, her medications for. I don't think that's fair. You know nothing except for what she posted on social media, which may not have been true. Because I'm here to tell you guys, I have been manic and put something on social media that was not true. Like, I'm just at the edge and I'm just going to throw a rock through a window. And I'm at home in the bed. I'm not standing at the bridge. I am not on top of the Alpha Tower. I said Alpha Tower. The Alpha Tower. But you see my point? When I'm manic, I may say something like, I just ate the whole refrigerator full of food, and man, I feel sick. When I had like a donut. You can't hold You can't sit here and hold every single thing she said in these accounts as that's exactly what happened. Even the sarcastic post of Emily's, you're holding every bit of those posts literal. Like, well, she said that she was on this and doing that. And what? You don't know that's the truth. She could have been in the middle of an episode and just talking. She could have been sarcastic, exaggerating. By gosh, I know I've exaggerated some things in my teenage years. Even at 18 years old. You know, I was very dramatic at times. But going back to the whole Anthony thing, I don't think it's right for anyone to tell Emily's story based on her social media history or based on what Anthony says or what Anthony's grandpa says. And I'm not bashing his grandpa. I'm just saying, look, Grandpa, this has been years ago. That's hearsay. Look, Shannon, this has been years ago. That's hearsay. Anthony is in your ear telling you what you want to hear. Of course, that's your husband. Do y'all not remember the dude, Joey, what's his name? Amy Fisher. Remember Amy Fisher? She walks up to the house. She's been scoping out Joey, the dude she'd been dating. Remember Amy Fisher had shot the woman, the wife, because she'd been having an affair with Joey, the woman's husband. But when they actually got involved with the law and reports were made and she was taken to the hospital and all that stuff, Joey lied. Joey flat out lied to his wife, who was laying in the bed dying, who had been shot in her head. Joey flat out lied to her. I've never had relations with that woman in my life. No, she brought me that picture to the body shop. I never touched her. And then come to find out, that whole time, everybody thought Amy Fisher was just crazy because she's bipolar and all this stuff and having issues. And guess what? They were having an affair. And she was a minor. And they had been going to hotels together because police had the hotel receipts. He claimed, I didn't go to those hotels. I didn't do anything. I was at work. Because he owned a body shop. And then come to find out, police dig up all the hotel receipts. He lied to his wife. He lied to the public and he lied to police. Why? Because he didn't want to get caught. And I think, in my opinion, I have to keep saying my opinion and allegedly, but in my opinion, I feel like that's what's going on with Anthony. Anthony doesn't want Shannon to know that he was following Emily, maybe texting, messaging, and you can say all you want. Well, Emily said she didn't want nothing to do with Anthony at all. You don't know if they were messaging. That could be something that she put on social media to keep everybody else at bay, to keep other people thinking we're not talking, and maybe he was still texting her. Maybe she did answer back, but you don't know for a fact that they weren't talking. And of course, your husband can stand in your ear feeding you all this. I never touched that woman. I never talked to that woman. I never sent her a message. I never did this, never did that. But you don't know unless you pull up the actual text and stuff. Now, Emily has gotten some receipts where it says Anthony followed you, messages, and spikes in her content when these messages and followings were happening. And that's why I reference back to the Amy Fisher story. Everybody thought Amy Fisher was lying about the affair. No, it was not okay that Amy Fisher did what she did to Joey's wife. That was absolutely not okay. But Joey's wife had tunnel vision, and she blamed Amy for everything. Literally everything. Even though Amy was a minor. Amy Fisher, y'all know that, right? Amy Fisher was a minor when that whole thing went down. And the world blamed her as this mistress, this and that. She's bipolar. She's just some crazy woman. She was not a woman. She was a minor. And she was in the middle of an affair with a grown man. He pulled time for that statutory. Look it up. But the whole entire time, he lied to his wife. Now, I'm going to end this video because I know it's long enough and y'all have heard me rant enough. I get it. And I'm not the average YouTuber that's got everything organized and like thumbnails and stuff on the screen. Like, I'm not that experienced. I just wanted to give my opinion. I'm just trying to share awareness out here. Women, men, everybody, y'all need to understand something. And Shannon, if you see this video, you need to understand your spouse is not perfect, and they're not always going to tell you the truth. They're going to deny anything you accuse them of, even when there's evidence. I didn't do it. And they'll look you right in your eye. I did not do it. Some people are on video. I didn't do it. But sometimes you just gotta take an L and say, you know what? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I've been fooled this whole time. Even if it ain't true, just take a minute and put yourself in that position. Maybe I've been wrong this whole time, and maybe I've been played. Maybe I don't know everything. Because I'm gonna tell you, I've been in that situation where my spouse lied to my face about many things, stupid little things. And for a while I would be like, oh, well, whatever. But then once I started seeing it, of course I didn't like it. I didn't want to think they would do me that way. But there comes a point where you have to just realize they're talking. And maybe messaging. Even if it's not romantic, just friendly. Well, I told him not to be messaging her. That don't mean he didn't do it. And I'm not saying he did or did do it. I'm just saying, don't be that wife, like the one in Amy Fisher's story that believes everything her husband tells her, to be made out to look ridiculous later. Like, just try to see it from all angles, because sometimes you're being played and you just don't want to see it. Like I said in the last video, she reminds me of that mom who just cannot see that her child does any wrong. It's, my little Johnny would never do that. Oh, well, you have him on video? That's got to be a stunt double. There's no way he did that. He's on video. Well, I just don't believe it. You know, sometimes you just got to open your eyes a little bit. And I've been there. You know? Hey. So, yeah, my ADHD just can't take the video any longer. Do you know how much of a hard time I've had listening and trying to pay attention? Every time I hit play, my brain is over here like it just can't focus. And I'm like, stop, just focus in on it. Get one good video out today. Just try to get it out. And my ADHD is just like, it's just like beating a dead horse. I'm like, girl, please, you are telling me about her hair color. I said it in the last video. I don't care what Emily had to eat in the 10th grade. I don't care what outfit Emily had on when she was 18 years old. I don't care what the name of Anthony's band was when they were 19. I could give two poops about that. I'm here for the truth. And the fact that Creepshow did not address the locale is just a real big slap in the face for all of us, I feel, because, you know, a lot of people deserve an explanation, and she feels like, oh no, peasants, you deserve nothing from me. Be gone. But she didn't mind taking everybody's views and AdSense, you know, revenue. She didn't mind taking all that in. But then, after years of exposing people for this very same stuff, now she can't be bothered to take accountability or give an explanation. And the locale post, that's going to be in my next video. I don't think we should forget this. This is a perfect example of how influencers get big and it goes to their head. Now, I'm not saying she weren't like this to begin with. I don't know her. But you can tell the change from her early content to her late content when her head swells, and the ego boost, that God complex just becomes real. It's real big now, because it's like, I don't have to answer to you because you don't have 100,000 subscribers. You don't have 50,000 views. I don't have to answer to you. That's how it feels to me. That's not fair, because all of your viewers don't have that kind of subscribers and followers. That's not fair, Shannon. It ain't fair at all to them. And you know that. You're doing this out of hatred. And the things you said about Tipster, you're doing all that out of hatred. I'm not trying to... It just really sucks. And for anybody who says, why make another video? Why did she make years and years of videos? Why are we not allowed to talk about what makes us feel bad about it? Why are we not allowed to share our opinions? Well, you're a stalker. I think that's the pot calling the kettle black here. Because if I'm a stalker for sharing my opinion about Creepshow art and Emily Artful, then what does that make Creepshow art? What does that make Shannon if I'm a stalker for sharing my opinion? But to say those things about Tipster, that he's a joke, I wouldn't even say that about Tipster. That stuff was like, that was such a nasty insult. Your secondhand news, Keemstar, at least he's entertaining. He never attacked your husband. He gave you the benefit of the doubt longer than anybody else did. And she just wails on him with insults. And it's disgusting. It's really, really just nasty. I just don't feel like she ever viewed him as a friend. Just my opinion, but thank you for watching. If you want to talk about more, if you want me to follow you, leave it in the comments. If you're on TikTok, my name is the same thing as it is here, LilyGirl1985. We are almost at 60,000 followers on TikTok. We are sharing awareness. True crime cases, missing children cases, getting people things that they need. It has been amazing. We have helped so many people. We have talked about so many important topics, and we had a lot of fun. Thank you all. And again, if you want me to subscribe to you or live stream with you or whatever, let me know. I'm here. Bye.